Welcome to Tail Talk Grooming Chronicles with Hound Therapy, the podcast where we talk all things pet grooming, daycare, academy, and more. Hosted by Shannon and Tanya of Hound Therapy, serving pet owners across North Texas. We're here to share expert tips, hilarious pet stories, and the inside scoop on keeping your furry friends happy and healthy. Our motto, humanity over vanity. And don't worry, we don't bite. Let's get started. Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Ever wondered why a trip to the groomer costs more than your own haircut? There's a lot more going on behind the scenes than just a trim. Let's break it all down. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Sophia Yvette, the co-host / producer, back in the studio with Shannon and Tanya, professional groomers at Hound Therapy. Shannon and Tanya, how are you both today?
We're excellent. How are you?
I'm also doing good. Now, this is going to be a fun episode. I think people are going to be surprised when they hear everything that goes into a professional dog grooming session. So, tell us, why is your dog's haircut more expensive than yours?
Well, the first one is your haircut doesn't include a mani and a pedi.
There's that. And hopefully you don't go 8 weeks in between washing your hair. Hopefully. I mean, I can see a week in advance. Your hairdresser doesn't wash your butt?
Hopefully.
You probably sit still for your hairdresser. Dogs here do not. So unless you're grooming, 2-year-olds, or if you're a 2-year-old child that doesn't like to get groomed, it's difficult to hold them down. Your hairdresser doesn't have to deal with biting or people walking in or falling, pooping. Hopefully you don't poop at your...
Hopefully you don't poop on your hairdresser or pee on them.
And hopefully you don't bite them. So doing your hair is going in. We get a lot of people that will come in and say, oh gosh, it's just so expensive. Well, I get that. And it's multiply so if you have multiple dogs. But if you have teenage daughters, it's expensive to do hair. If you have highlights and cuts, it's expensive. But you go in, you're on a regular basis. You usually show up with hair that's prepped and ready to go. If you don't, you should be doing that. Do not show up to your hairdresser after going to a mud bath and expect them to comb that out for you. That's not fair. That is what we get. We do nails. We grind the nails, we cut the nails, we are cleaning the hair out from behind the pads. We're doing literally all their private parts under their ears. We're inspecting their skin. My
hairdresser's never cleaned my ears.
No. How about, we check the skin for moles, ticks and fleas.
Or lumps and bumps that you might not have even known they're there, that are something to consult your vet about.
So there's a lot of things that we do here on top of a haircut. And then we wash them, we dry them, we blow them out, and then we cut them again just to make sure that it's good. So we've got to prep and dry all of that hair. And most people even if you have very long hair, unless you're getting, braids or a weave put in, or, if you're not sitting for something other than just a normal haircut or a highlight, that takes a couple of hours. It's got chemicals that are processing. We do dog coloring here too. And I can tell you that is exponentially more money because of the amount of time that the color takes to sit on your hair. Most hairdressers also don't do, they're doing one person at a time. Right. We've got, 2 or 3, but doing one dog from start to finish, it's a massive amount of time. And we've got a lot of real estate we've got to cover. And the smaller the dog, the harder the dog, because our clippers are at least 8 to 9 inches long. And if your dog is only 3 inches long,
3 inches long,
it's hard to get your equipment up underneath there. So we also wrestle. We are a lot of things. We do a lot of different roles in here. We've got a whole lot that is involved with keeping your dog safe and keeping us safe. And things happen. I was a barber for a long time. I've nicked some ears. I've gotten some things done at the hairdresser, but those risks are pretty minimal because you're still. For us, it's a lot more inevitable that something may or may not happen,
Mhm.
because we've got moving animals and people coming in and out and people walking back and forth. We're not in a controlled environment in a salon that is, doesn't have a lot of things going around. We've got loud dryers going on. I did 2 dogs today that have, oh gosh, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 inches of hair that we have to brush and dry all 4 legs, ears,
Wow.
head, tail, and do their nails, get their pads done, and then I have to get them to stand still so that I can
Yeah.
scissor that all over. The entire dog has to be scissored. So I mean, it takes me at least 3 to 4 hours
Yeah.
just for that one dog, and that's me. I'm pretty quick. It would take, some groomers only do 4 and 5 dogs all day. I can do a lot of those dogs, but I can't do a lot of them at one time because it's, if you let them sit and dry, if anybody like me, I have curly hair. So if you have curly hair and you let it dry without brushing it out,
You ain't gonna get a comb.
it's not going to look good. You better get a braid.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be frizzy and flowy. We do a lot of stuff.
And a lot of it is the tools too. Like none of the tools we use on said dog is cheap. I mean, you're looking at $200 to $400 for scissors. Clippers are a good $400.
Special brushes.
Yep.
The everything that your brush for you is, you have one, and hopefully your stylist has 2 or 3, or 2 or 3 of their capes are clean. Again, we're unregulated, so here at Hound Therapy, we do barbicide all of our equipment and our brushes. We clean the hair and stuff out of them. But I've worked with some barbers and some hair cutting people that never clean their stuff, and they use the same brush on everybody. So and they had to go to a class that learns how to clean and disinfect. So disinfecting every single one of those, that's another thing. It's we don't want to pass disease on from one animal to another. So we've got to buy disinfectant and bleach, and we've got to clean our combs and our brushes in between each one of those dogs. And if you've got fleas, we've got to sit and wait. If you've got special shampoos, we've got to sit and wait. So there's a whole lot that goes in here. I mean, we are hairstylists. What are those people that cut your skin?
Dermatologists.
We're dermatologists. We're doctors. A lot of people ask us medical questions. Can you look at what's this bump on my dog? What's over there over his eye? Hey, can you pick this out?
Why are his eyes so gross?
Yeah, I don't know. We're
I'm
just, but we do know because we see dogs every day, probably more often than most vets see them. Now, we do not have the extra 12 years of school. We are not vets, but we are pretty good at recognizing
if there's an actual problem.
Yeah, and what's not normal, right? Or certain smells that give off. Looking inside your dog's ears, it's like where are the barrier between everything on your dog from the time that you see your vet, which is usually once a year. You hopefully are seeing your groomers at least quarterly, depending on what kind of dog you have, but anywhere from a 6 to 8 week period. So we're pretty versed on what your dog looks like and what your dog has and what looks normal for your dog and what doesn't. So hopefully that explains some of it.
And that's why your dog's haircut is more expensive than yours.
Understood. Well, Tanya and Shannon, thank you so much for this great conversation. Thanks for shedding light on all the works that go into grooming. And to our listeners, we'll see you next time for more pet care.
Do have another quick, if we can add, July
19th.
We are having Operation Kindness, I believe. Operation Kindness and their own bus. They're amazing. They're doing an adoption event here at our location.
From 11 to 2.
And they bring puppies. When I say puppies, they bring the cutest puppies, and they are all like 6 months and under puppies. So if you just need a puppy fix, come out and check out our adoption event.
Awesome. Well, Tanya and Shannon, that was such a great conversation. Thanks for shedding light on all the works that go into grooming. And to our listeners, we'll see you next time for more pet care insights.
Fantastic. Have a great day.
That's a wrap for this episode of Tail Talk with Hound Therapy. Ready to book your pet's next groom, daycare stay, or grooming academy tour? Call us at 469-367-0009. That's 469-367-0009 to schedule an appointment. Or visit us online at www.houndtherapy.com. Serving North Texas with expert pet care. Until next time, keep those tails wagging.